All right, let's talk about what's coming up because this is a big one. We're diving into the Day 76 token release for Plasm, which is just 2 days away now. And look, this is not just another unlock. This is the first real cliff test, kind of like the final dress rehearsal before the even bigger show on Day 78. So we're going to get into the mechanics, the protocol's built-in defenses, and what could happen so you know exactly what to look for when it all goes down.
But first, you know the drill, we've got to do the standard disclaimer. This is all for educational and informational purposes. It is absolutely not financial advice. Please always, always do your own research before making any kind of investment decision. So yeah, just 2 days to go. This analysis is all about giving you the strategic framework, the playbook for understanding what's happening as it happens. So let's just get right into it.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about why this is the dress rehearsal and what's really at stake. Then we'll hit the single most important variable, the restaking question. After that, we'll look at the protocol's armor, its defenses, before we game out 3 potential scenarios. And then we'll tie it all together with the final takeaway. So why are we calling Day 76 the dress rehearsal? Simple. This is the first time, the very first time, the protocol's defense systems get tested against some serious, real-world pressure. This is where the rubber really meets the road.
And the number itself, wow. On Day 76, we're looking at 175,211 Plasm tokens hitting the market. This is the first ever 6-figure unlock for the protocol. It's a massive step up from anything we've seen before.
Now, at the current price of around 26 cents, that translates to a potential sell pressure of over $45,000. But, and this is a huge but, that's the maximum theoretical pressure. That's if every single person sold every single token. That's the number the protocol is designed to handle. But here's the real context, the thing you have to remember. As big as this test is, it's really just a preview. It's the appetizer. This event is only 7.6% of the massive unlock that's coming on Day 78. So how the system handles this dress rehearsal is going to give us some priceless data for the main event just 2 days later. Ultimately, Day 76 is all about data. It's about answering some really critical questions, like what percentage of these token holders are actually going to sell versus restake? How is the bonding curve slippage going to perform against big sells? How is the buyback and burn going to react in real time? And maybe most importantly, is that strong restaking trend we've seen so far going to hold up under pressure? And that last question leads us right into what is, without a doubt, the single most important variable in this whole thing, the restaking question. This one factor is what will determine the actual sell pressure, not the theoretical number. Now, the good news is we're not flying completely blind. We have a great data point from Day 71. On that day, when we had the first major unlock, a staggering 77% of the tokens were immediately restaked by the people who got them. Only about 23% were actually sold. That's huge. And this really shows you the power of restaking. I mean, look at this. If that same 77% pattern holds true for Day 76, that scary $45,000 number drops all the way down to a much, much more manageable $10,500. I mean, that's a completely different ballgame. But we have to be real here. The past doesn't always predict the future. The people getting tokens on Day 76 are a different group from Day 71. They have different goals, different entry points. So will they make different choices? That's really the multi-thousand-dollar question, isn't it? So regardless of what the holders decide to do, the protocol is not just going to sit there and take it. Let's talk about its armor, the defenses that are baked right into the system to handle sell pressure. The very first line of defense is a basic market mechanic, slippage. And it's pretty simple, really. The bigger the trade you try to make, the more the price moves against you while you're trying to sell. Now, the protocol's bonding curve is designed to make this effect exponential. And this is totally intentional. It's basically a self-punishment mechanism. Anyone who tries to dump a huge bag is going to get a progressively worse price for every token they sell. They end up punishing themselves and getting way less money out than they thought, which protects the protocol and everyone else. The second line of defense is the Automated Buyback and Burn, the BBB. And this thing is a machine. It's not a panic button someone has to push. It's an autonomous system that every 10 minutes checks the market. If the conditions are right, it automatically buys tokens off the market and burns them forever, creating constant buy pressure.
Right now, the BDB has over $600 of firepower every single day, and at the current price, its efficiency is maxed out. Every dollar it spends burns about 3.8 tokens. And here's the kicker. If things get really crazy, that deployment can be manually cranked up to provide even more support. The tools are definitely there. Okay, so we've got the variables, we've got the defenses. Let's put them together and walk through 3 potential ways day 76 could actually unfold. This will give us a framework to understand what we're seeing in real time. All right, scenario 1, the optimistic case. We see a really high restake rate, 75% or more, just like day 71. We'd probably see a moderate dip in price, followed by a pretty quick recovery. Then there's the neutral scenario. Maybe about half the people restake. This would probably lead to a deeper drop and a longer recovery period. And then the pessimistic scenario. Let's say less than 25% of people restake. Yeah, we'd expect a significant drop. But, and this is the important part, this is where the protocol's anti-fragile design really gets put to the test. So let's bring this all home. With all these moving parts and potential outcomes, what's the real takeaway as we head into this test?
Well, the key thing to remember is the environment these new tokens are walking into. The market is incredibly tight right now. Only about 3% of the total supply is actually liquid, and staking is sitting at an all-time high of 67%. That shows really strong conviction from current holders, and it means these new tokens are landing in a market that doesn't have a lot of room to absorb a big sell-off.
And that leads to the final thought. Day 76 is the dress rehearsal. It's a data gathering mission for day 78. But no matter what stress it creates, you have to remember the protocol is designed to be anti-fragile. It's meant to learn and get stronger from shocks. So if stress does come, the entire design suggests the protocol will just use it to burn more tokens, maybe increase staking, and ultimately come out of this test even stronger than it went in. The first test begins in 2 days.